And we ran the ball. All right, guys, the game wrapped up about an hour ago, maybe a little longer than that. And really good, really good stuff from the Washington Huskies tonight. They went into Colorado. It was a slow start. It was not a good first quarter, but by the end, they had established themselves as clearly the dominant team, winning over the Buffaloes 37-10. Now, what I took away from this game was mostly positive things, but there are a couple things to be concerned about. So let's go ahead and just address the whole thing. Let's talk about the offense, because the offense was very encouraging in some ways tonight, and there are at the same time a couple things that could become a problem in the near future. So first of all, I said I wanted this team to be able to show they could run the ball, and they did. Myles Gaskin had maybe the best game of his career. He was grinding out short yardage carries. He was grinding out, 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards. And then as the game went on, he started busting 10 yards, 15 yards. And then he capped his day off with this 60-yard touchdown run. 200-yard game, best game of his career, a couple of touchdowns. Really, really impressive stuff from Gaskin and the offensive line, I thought. And we're going to need that kind of excellence in the running game for the rest of this season if we want to, get to the point where we can play teams like Ohio State and Clemson and Alabama. It's the only way. And it was good to see it, even if it's for one night against a team that's probably not the best, one of the better teams in the league, but they're not a joke either. So it was just good to see a healthy, happy Washington running game, because the passing game took a little bit of a night off tonight. Jake Browning threw a pick, which I don't really care about that. It was basically a punt. It was a 3rd and long Hail Mary shot that got picked off. I don't care. But not a lot of explosion from the passing game tonight. We hit a few plays down the field. Dante Pettis made a couple nice plays in this game. Quentin Pounds made an amazing catch in double coverage in the end zone that really kind of broke this game open for good. And it wasn't a bad passing attack, but it was very, very mediocre, unimpressive, just barely enough to get by, basically. And that might become the new norm for these Washington Huskies. My main concern coming out of this game is Chico McClatcher got hurt and it looked bad. Chico McClatcher is kind of an all-purpose offensive player for us. He plays running back, and he acts as a receiver out of the backfield a lot, and he's pretty good in both roles. He's one of my favorite Huskies for sure, and he got hurt and it did not look good. They had to bring out the cart for him and everything. He might not play again this season for all I know. So that obviously sucks for him, because he was a good, fun player, and he seems like a nice guy and everything. But thinking about it from a football perspective, it's tough to come back from that, I think, because this team was already having some wide receiver, not even wide receiver, just general receiver depth problems. We have Dante Pettis, who is really good, and then we had a couple guys out of the backfield, like McClatcher, who we depended on. We had a couple tight ends who were showing some potential, but they disappear from week to week. I was high on Drew Sample after the first week of the season, and you basically haven't seen Drew Sample since. So the passing attack that was so underwhelming tonight could easily become the new norm for the Huskies this year, because without Chico, I think we have one good wide receiver, maybe one good tight end, and then it gets thin real quick. So yeah, that's one thing that'll get you down about a game like tonight, the injury. But still, offensively, we saw a lot of encouraging stuff. I thought the offensive line played great, the running backs played great, and after the first quarter, we controlled pretty much this whole game, I thought. Defensively, first drive was awful. Obviously, the first drive, they just marched the ball down our throat. They were hitting everything underneath. They were running on us. They were throwing on us. They did everything great that first drive, and then shut them down. And so I'm willing to throw that first drive out. A lot of offenses come out and play very strongly at the start of games when they have, their 15 scripted plays or whatever. A lot of offenses do that. And then when they get off their scripted play chart, it becomes a lot harder for them. So I'm willing to shrug my shoulders about that somewhat concerning but ultimately meaningless first drive, because after that we got a ton of pressure on the quarterback all game long. We were getting pressure on a pretty mobile and pretty dangerous big play quarterback, and we really hemmed him in the passing game as the game went along. We forced several turnovers. We had a pick six. We had turnovers that took points off the board. So I was asking, I need the secondary to step up. The secondary stepped up tonight. They didn't make every play. They gave up some third downs. They gave up some, first downs down the field, but you will certainly take what you got from the secondary tonight, where we limited Colorado's passing attack to a total of less than 200 yards. And like I said, the pressure, to me, even more than the secondary, I loved seeing all the quarterback pressure. And we pretty much hemmed them in running the ball. They had some success running the ball, but for the most part, we were able to close down on that. And at the end of the day, you're looking at this game. They scored 10 points. 7 of those points came on the first drive, where we looked pathetic, admittedly. And then the Colorado kicker kicked a crazy 54-yard field goal to score the rest of them, and that was that. So to complain about anything, you're nitpicking. One thing that I do want to get on, because this could be a problem later very easily, is the special teams. We gave up some stuff in the return game, which I don't like, and Vizcano missed two field goals and an extra point, and he missed an extra point last week too. So I am pretty much at the point now where I don't know how you can get another field goal kicker in college football at this point. I mean, that doesn't seem like something you can really do. I'm officially concerned. Excuse me. It's late over here, guys. Sorry. I'm officially concerned about Vizcano. So like I just said, I know you can't really go out and get another kicker in college football, but I am officially concerned about our kicker. I know college kickers in general are not particularly good, but I am now concerned about him not getting it done for us in a big spot when we really need him. So he's just got to get better, because I don't believe there's anybody on this roster who can do better than him, and I don't believe there's anybody we can go out and get that would be better. So, we're stuck, but that is probably the second biggest concern that I have coming out of this game. But all in all, great game tonight, great victory. Most of the things that I'm concerned about come from the Chico McClatcher injury, which I believe will have a domino effect on the rest of this season. But in terms of the effort and execution we showed out there today, very solid. All right, next week we're going to Oregon State, so that's another game you would definitely expect to win. And we need some of these injured guys to get back, because we need production to replace the guys that are dropping out. So NFL Sunday tomorrow. I'll make a Seahawk video before our Titans game, and see you guys later.